John wakes up a bit late one morning, and decides to get into the shower, just as his wife, Ginny, is finishing up her shower. She gets out, and quickly wraps herself in the towel, when the doorbell rings. She rushes downstairs, to open the door and sees their next-door neighbor, Bob, standing outside. Jenny feels a little embarrassed, but before she manages to say anything, Bob quickly says that he'll give her $1,000 if she drops the towel. Her initial thought is to shut the door in his face. But then she realizes that this would probably be the easiest $1,000 to make, and so she drops the towel. After admiring her for a few seconds, Bob hands her $1,000 and leaves. Ginny wraps herself back in the towel and goes back inside. When she gets to the bathroom, John asks her who was at the door, and she says that it was their neighbor Bob. "Great," her husband says. "Did he mention anything about the $1,000 that he owes me?" An elderly guy comes to the doctor's office and asks for a double dose of Viagra. The doctor tells him that he is not willing to give him a double dose. "Why not?" the elderly guy asks. "Because it would not be safe for you," replies the doctor. The elderly man doesn't want to give up so easily, so he says to the doctor, "But I really need it for this weekend. I would not be able to cope without it." Curious now, the doctor asks the man what is happening on the weekend that would require for him to have a double dose of Viagra, and the man explains, "My girlfriend is coming to town on Friday, and she is very passionate. Then on Saturday, my ex-wife comes for a short visit, and I haven't seen her for ages, so it will be quite intense. And on Sunday, my wife is coming home, after visiting her sister. So I really need that double dose." After hearing the elderly man's plans, the doctor agrees to give him the double dose, but insists that the man comes back to the clinic on Monday, to make sure he's not suffering from any side effects. On Monday, the man comes into the clinic, looking pale and weak, his arm in a sling. The doctor asks, "What happened to you?" The man looks up at the doctor, and says, "No one showed up." A lawyer and a blonde are sitting next to each other, on a plane. The lawyer is thinking that blondes are generally very dumb, and that he could get one over on them, easily. So, the lawyer asks if the blonde would like to play a fun game. The blonde is tired, and just wants to take a nap, so she politely declines. The lawyer persists, saying that the game is a lot of fun. He explains, "I ask you a question, and if you don't know the answer, you pay me only $5. Then you ask me a question, and if I don't know the answer, I will pay you $500. This catches the blonde's attention, and to keep the lawyer quiet, she agrees to play the game. The lawyer asks the first question. "What's the distance from the Earth to the Moon?" The blonde doesn't say a word, but reaches into her purse, pulls out a $5 bill, and hands it to the lawyer. Now, it's the blonde's turn. She asks the lawyer, "What goes up a hill with 3 legs and comes down with 4? The lawyer uses his laptop to search the internet, but finds nothing. He sends emails to all the smart friends he knows, all to no avail. After an hour of searching, he finally gives up. Frustrated, he wakes the blonde up and hands her $500. She silently pockets the $500 and goes right back to sleep. The lawyer is going nuts, not knowing the answer. So he wakes up the blonde and asks, "Well, so what goes up a hill with 3 legs and comes down with 4? The blonde reaches into her purse, hands the lawyer $5, and goes back to sleep. The local TV station was interviewing an 85-year-old lady because she had just gotten married for the 4th time. The interviewer asked her questions about her life and about what it felt like to be marrying again at 85. And then about her new husband's occupation. "He's a funeral director," she answered. The newsman thought it was interesting. He then asked her if she wouldn't mind telling him a little about her first 3 husbands and what they did for a living. She paused for a few moments, needing some time to reflect on all those years. After a short time, a smile came to her face, and she said that she had first married a banker when she was in her 20s. Then a circus ringmaster when in her 40s. She married a preacher when in her 60s. And now, in her 80s, a funeral director. The interviewer looked at her, quite astonished, and asked why she had married 4 men with such diverse careers. She smiled and explained, I'm married 1, for the money. 2, for the show. 3, to get ready. And 4, to go. A cheating husband decided to write a letter to his wife. You will surely understand that I have certain needs that you as a 54-year-old can no longer satisfy. I'm very happy with you, and I value you as a good wife. However, after reading this letter, I hope you will not wrongly interpret the fact that I will be spending this evening with my 18-year-old secretary at the Comfort Inn. Please don't be upset. I shall be back before midnight. When the man came home late that night, he found a reply to his letter on the dining room table. My dear husband, I received your letter and thank you for your honesty. I would like to take this opportunity to remind you that you are also 54 years old. I also would like to inform you that while you read this, I will be at the Hotel Sierra with Jose, one of my students, who is also an assistant tennis coach. He is young, virile, and just like your secretary, he is 18. You, being a successful businessman with excellent knowledge of math, will understand that we are in the same situation. Although with one small difference. 18 goes into 54 a lot more times than 54 goes into 18. An angel visited a woman and told her that she must give up smoking, drinking, and sex if she ever wants to go to heaven. As the woman really wanted to go to heaven, she said she would try her best. The same angel visited the woman a week later to see how she was getting on. Not bad, said the woman. I've given up smoking and drinking, but then I bent over to get some stuff out of the freezer, and my boyfriend caught sight of my long slender legs. He pulled up my skirt and made love to me right then and there. They don't like that in heaven, said the angel. The woman blushed and said, well, if I am honest, they were not too happy about it in Costco, either. Dorothy and Edna, 2 elder widows, are talking. Dorothy says, that nice George Johnson asked me out for a date. I know you went out with him last week, and I wanted to talk with you about him before I give him my answer. Edna replies with a smile. Well, I'll tell you. He shows up at my apartment, punctually at 7 p.m., dressed like a gentleman in a fine suit, and he brings me such beautiful flowers. Then he takes me downstairs, and there is this luxury car waiting for us, with the uniformed chauffeur and all. Then he takes me out for dinner. A marvelous dinner, lobster, champagne, dessert, and after-dinner drinks. Then we go see a show. And let me tell you, Dorothy, I enjoyed it so much, I could have just died from pleasure. So then we are coming back to my apartment, and he turns into an animal. Completely crazy. He tears off my expensive nude dress and has his way with me 2 times. Dorothy is quite shocked by the story. She looks at Edna and says, goodness gracious. So you are telling me I shouldn't go out with him? Edna laughs and says, no. I'm just saying, wear an old dress.